Kerry Bolton is Australia's most respected exit strategy advisor and CEO of the Exit Strategy Group. Welcome to this week's segment.
If you think that you have something better to do, then sit down and write it out. Force yourself to write down what it is that you're going to do. It's really important, because when you're the biggest fish in the sea and suddenly you're gone, it is a very big mental shift. So just recapping, these were in fact the 5 mental shifts that the successful business owners were able to make when they exited their business. They felt that they'd been treated and fairly and appropriately compensated. They felt a sense of accomplishment. Others were rewarded and treated fairly. They had a new sense of purpose, and they had a pride in the legacy and the achievements that they'd left behind. On to the 7 life-changing and business-transforming questions. How much longer do you want to be actively involved in the business? When do you want to exit? So it's about, give yourself at least 2 years to prepare, because you've got to have some tax records, you've got to have some financial records, and you want to show maximum profitability over that period of time to get yourself the best price. You can't start pulling things together the month before you sell. I know many people in private businesses enjoy the benefits of private businesses. So it's really important for you to make sure that they're all completely straightened out, and that you have at least 2 to 3 years, preferably 3, of very clean financials to be able to show any future prospective buyer. So question 2, who's going to be your likely successor if you're not around? So one of the value killers in any business is key person dependence. If you are it, you're in strife, but you've got yourself time to find somebody else. Get yourself out of the business. Your business needs to be able to function without you. Same thing applies if you're too dependent on a single customer. We had a policy at FMI that no one customer would be worth more than 5% of our business. So if in fact something happened and we lost a key client, then we weren't going to be in strife. I have a client at the moment who has one customer that's worth 80% of their business. It's a disaster. It's a very big business. They're working strategically to make sure to get that percentage down. So they've now got a plan. We've set in place a plan over the next 3 years to target other potential clients so that we can get that ratio the other way. That's most important. How do you want to exit? Do you want to exit over time, or do you want to exit in one event? If I had my way, I would say get out as fast as you can, as quickly as you can. But mostly that's not possible, no matter how good your business is. If you're selling it off completely to someone else, it's very hard when you've been your own boss to go back and work for someone else. It's very difficult. I had it for 2 years. 4th question, do you know what your business is really worth on the market today? So there's lots of different ways to actually measure the value of your business, how much you'd actually like to sell your business for today. Technically, a lot of people will go for EBITDA, earnings before interest, tax, depreciation and amortisation, and they'll take a multiple of that. And the average today is around about 1.5 times if you take that statistic as a financial buyer. But if you're looking at a strategic purchaser, it could be anything up to 30 times. And it just depends on who you might be selling it to, and it depends on the type of business that you have. Because the other way of doing that is to create competition, just like in the real estate market. So if there's more than one purchaser out there that's interested in your business, you might be able to create competitive tension, and you can get a better price for your business, a better multiple. what should you be doing to actually minimise your future tax liabilities? What way is your business structured? I'm certainly not giving you financial advice. I'm not an accountant of any description whatsoever. I'm no financial advisor, so I have to add that in as a disclaimer. But how's your business structured? One of the other people that I've interviewed told me that her business was still in her personal name. Her shares were still in her personal name, and she was about to sell a business into a public company. The tax implications for her were enormous. So the sale process had to be put back to give her time to restructure her own affairs so she could get the most benefit, which is not to say you're going to do anything illegal. I'm not suggesting that for 1 minute, but I'm saying you need to be able to talk to someone who's a professional accountant and be able to understand what the best structure is for you to actually have your business in. And when you do give yourself the time over the next, say, 2 to 3 years minimum, then you're not going to run into any issues as far as the government is concerned, as far as taxation is concerned. Then you're not going to be seen to be restructuring just for the sake of evading tax for the future. And depending on how long you've been in business, of course, here, there's some pretty generous provisions for people in business. If you've been an owner for 20 years, I'm happy to tell you we got our payout from selling Hocking Stewart 100% tax-free, which was great because we ticked the boxes on the tests. Okay, so it's important for you to understand what they are and what you need to do to minimise your exposure. Number 6. What do you want your business to accomplish prior to your exit? It's really important for you to think about your goals and what you actually want to achieve. You've invested a lot of time and a lot of money in building your business, and I'm sure you've earned the respect of trusted family members, employees, customers and suppliers. So don't lose all of that for a lack of adequate preparation. Think about the contingency plans, the 5 Ds that I went over earlier. So plan ahead so you leave behind a great legacy and you're really proud of what you've done, rather than leaving behind great problems for someone else. And lastly, what are the most significant obstacles and frustrations standing between you and your goals? So when you sit down and you really dig deep, you'll be able to find ways to be able to overcome those. And this is where it's often really useful to go out and get someone else who's a mentor, another business owner, a business coach, to help you go through that process so that you can actually have some objectivity around it. Because we are all our worst enemies. And sometimes we are too hard on ourselves as well. We're actually better.
If you don't have a copy of Kerry's new book, The Uncensored Truth About Exit Strategies, please visit freeexitstrategybook.com.au.